तस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलान् श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणरघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललित श्रीविशाख अन्वितांश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते कदम्बकाननस्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले गुरुदासजयद्वैतस्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So, So we are in seventh day of Bhagavad Sapta. We are discussing the subject of Citraketu Maharaj, how Citraketu Maharaj attained um, an exalted position as Vidyadharapati, and after that, when he was flying in his Viman airplane, he came across this place in Mount Sumeru, and there he saw Lord Shiva was sitting along with other saints, sages who were there, and what was um, that Chitraketu Maharaj found wonderful was that he saw that Lord Shiva, who is Jagat Guru, and how come that he is having Mother Parvati on his lap, embracing her, and if such great personalities do this, what would happen for the common man? Yeah. So yesterday we discussed about that, and then of course Lord Shiva didn't take it as an offense when Chitraketu Maharaj was very, laughing loudly and was saying so. The sages who were present there also didn't found it um, bad, but Parvati Devi, she couldn't tolerate. She was saying, how come such a person who is so much puffed up hmm, has committed, spoken so loose about her Lord Shiva. So she cursed that may he become the lowest of the asuras. And of course, we also discussed yesterday that Chitraketu Maharaj, after hearing this, he was least disturbed. This was astonishing, and this was so astonishing. Why? Because usually we are very much scared. We are scared with if there are some distresses that come in our life. If people um, are not favorable to us, then we get disturbed. But here Chitraketu Maharaj, in fact, he was accepting it, and he told that, yeah, I would accept this as something that I have done bad in my past life. So due to my past deeds, which are not good, I'm accepting this. And happiness and distress, they come and go just like waves. And yeah, and he also thanked Parvati Devi, accepted him as his mother, and yeah. After this, hmm, what happened? Yeah, this is what we will conclude today in the seventh session, and also try to see what is the overall pastime um, uh, tunes us to pick up what lessons. So, yeah, Sri Sukha Vacha. Iti prasadya Girisho Chitraketur Arindama Jagama Swa Vimanena Pasyato Smaya Tostaya. Sukadeva Goswami said, O King Parikshit, after Chitraketu satisfied Lord Shiva and his wife Parvati, after he has paid obeisances and uh, asked forgiveness if he has displeased Mother Parvati, after that he left. mm. And when Lord Shiva and Parvati saw that Chitraketu, although informed of curse, was unafraid, they smiled, being fully astonished by his behavior. Huh? This is what we may sometimes get surprised. We are always so much absorbed in that, okay, some devotee in my life has caused a lot of inconvenience, and now uh, let me open up, let me um, teach him a lesson, or let me correct him. These are our spirits. But then we see the way the devotees behave, who are really devotees, they are very, very simple. They accept everything as the will of Lord. Tatastu Bhagavan Rudro Rudranim Iva Abhrivit Devarshi Daitya Siddhanam Parshadanam Sa Shrinvatam. Here is saying that therefore, in the presence of sage Narada, hmm, the demons, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, and his personal associates, Lord Shiva, who is most powerful, spoke to his wife Parvati while they all listened. This is very important. Here we can see how is Lord Shiva taking it from here. We see that in fact it was Chitraketu who was laughing at or expressing his wonder up on Lord Shiva. Hmm? But here we see that the person who cursed was Parvati. Hmm? When all the other sages were there. Uh, so Lord Rudra is taking control from here, and he says, Sri Rudra Uvacha. दृष्टवती असि शुश्रोणि हरेर अद्भुत कर्मण महात्म्यं भृत्यानां निष्पुरणानां महात्मानां. He's saying, my dear beautiful Parvati. He in fact he addressed Parvati as Sushroni. Sushroni means very, very beautiful. The reason why he addresses beautiful, Prabhupada explains in the purport. So Lord Shiva is saying, Lord Rudra is telling to Rudrani. Rudrani means the wife of Lord Shiva. He is telling to her that, you know, being the servants of the Supreme Lord Hari, hmm, they are great souls and not interested in any kind of material happiness. They're not. Nishprananam Mahatmanam. The great souls, they have no ambitions for sense gratification. Yeah, this is we hear so many times. They are devotees, the great devotees. They don't have desire. They are always absorbed in rendering service to the Lord. That is what they are always hankering, and that is what they are um, mm, working out all ways so that they can get this opportunity. And here we can see Lord Shiva is telling, yeah, we have come across a great devotee like Chitraketu Maharaj who was great exalted. Huh? He was not interested in any kind of material happiness. In the purport, Prabhupada is telling what does it actually mean is Lord Shiva, the husband of Parvati, told his wife, my dear Parvati, you are very beautiful in your bodily features. Hmm? Certainly you are glorious, but I do not think that you can compete with the beauty and glory uh, of the devotees who have become servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So a devotee who is not a devotee of the Lord but a devotee's devotee, which means accepting Lord's devotees as his master. We are talking about spiritual master or senior Vaishnavas who are very, very sincerely serving with great determination and love. And if one is serving such a devotee, uh, they are very beautiful. They are more beautiful. He's saying, but I do not think that you can compete with the beauty and glory of the devotees. We know that the beauty that we may have, physical appearance, which may be very splendor, how many years it can be. uh, Once the tender skin becomes faded, then the glamour or splendor, everything goes off. We struggle so many ways how we can maintain it. There are so many anti-aging formulas that we try, or um, reversing, trying to reverse whatever ways we can do to uplift, what do you call this, facelift programs. But this is only physical and that's temporary. Hmm. What is real beauty is that we can still talk about Chitraketu Maharaj. Why? Because his beauty is what? He has demonstrated the ornaments of a devotee. तितीक्षस्व कारुणिकं सुहृद सर्व देहिनम ajata shatrava shanta shanta shadbhushana. Hmm? So there are these six ornaments. So these ornaments manifest from within, but they are more beautiful. They attract more. It is not if one has physical beauty they are attracted. Maybe one who is superficial may get attracted, but if one has genuine goodness qualities of a devotee, he is more attractive. People go to him or go to her to seek guidance, to seek blessings. So that is what is beauty is what attraction. The real attraction is of the devotee. This is also what Lord Shiva is saying. And he's saying, of course, Lord Shiva smiled when he joked with his wife in that way. For others cannot speak like this. This is very important. If Lord Shiva is correcting here, because it is his dharma, his dharma as a husband, his dharma is to correct his wife. So he is correcting, and that too in a very sensible and very sensitive way. And here one cannot think like, okay, now Parvati is inferior. Uh, oh, she's not perfect. No, one should not think like that. Of course, Lord Shiva smiled when he joked with his wife in that way, and we cannot do that. The Supreme Lord, Shiva continued, is always exalted in his activities. And here is another example of his wonderful influence upon King Chitraketu. Huh? This is what Lord Shiva is telling to Parvati Devi. He is telling that, see, Lord is uh, amazing. He is amazing that his activities are very, very exalted. How to understand that? We can see here a devotee who is being cursed. See what happened. Hmm? Yeah, it is rather not only that he was cursed. Just see, although he was cursed, hmm, he was not at all afraid or sorry. He was not feeling, oh, what is this? Rather, he offered respect to you, called you mother, and accepted your curse, thinking himself faulty. So this is the beauty. This is the beauty what comes. And here I think there is a word. Did we miss Adbhuta Karmana? Yeah. Here we can see that it's mentioned the Lord. Yeah, it comes by. This is an excellence of devotee. What is if we want to become a devotee, if we think that we are devotee, the most important thing is to tolerate the inconvenience of the material world. Huh? By mildly tolerating your curse, he was certainly exhaled the glories of your beauty and your power to curse him. So whatever you have, the powers and beauty, what you have, that is doesn't stand high in front of what Chitraketu has done. Huh? I am impartially judge. I can impartially judge that this devotee has defeated you and your excellence simply by becoming a pure devotee of the Lord. Hmm? This is what this is what is the glory of uh, the devotee. Why? Why? Prabhupada writes, indirectly, Lord Shiva forbade Parvati to commit the mistake of cursing a devotee like Chitraketu. He indicated that although she was powerful, the king, without showing any power, has excelled her power by his tolerance. So, tolerance, titikshasva, is very, very important. Titiksha is to tolerate. Usually, that's where we have our challenge. Yeah, we think that, hey, I am short tempered devotee. A devotee cannot be a short tempered devotee. A devotee by definition is tolerant, means he cannot lose temper. He should understand that he has a higher purpose of being a devotee, means to execute service of the Lord. So, and devotee is ever absorbed in doing what? Only in service. He is so absorbed, so much absorbed that he becomes mad. It is said that devotees become mad. किबा मंत्र दिला गोसानी किबा तरा bala जपिते जपिते मंत्र करिला पागल. This is what we see that is who is that in Chaitanya Charitamrita we can see that in when this Maha Mantra is chanted, what is happening when this Maha Mantra is chanted, then when the Lord Chaitanya in five features, yeah, there is this mm, Shrivas, yeah, he is saying how powerful is this mantra just by chanting. I have become mad and simply by chanting this mantra. Uh, in Shikshastakam Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we say, Yugayitam Nimishena Chakshusha Pravishayitam Shunyayitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virhenami. So this is what, when we take to this chanting process, then this is what happens. Therefore, when one comes to the senses of spiritual platform, he becomes so eager to meet Govinda that without Govinda, the entire world becomes a vacant place. So we are not interested in our name and fame, or what do you call this? I- uh, yeah, prestige and yeah, other things or discomforts. No, as a devotee, we should really advance to have this feeling of always looking for Govinda in our service, in rendering our service. There is also further, um, yeah, this is the power of the name. When one chants the name, how one becomes mad, and then there is other alaukika prakriti tomara buddhi agochara tama dekhi krishna prema jagat pagal. So here, mm, what is happening? It said that indeed your characteristics are uncommon and beyond the imagination of an ordinary living being. Simply by seeing you, the entire universe becomes mad with ecstatic love of Krishna. Mm. This is what even learned person like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is saying by seeing, having the darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri. This is what Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is saying. I become mad. He's saying simply by seeing you, the entire universe becomes mad with ecstatic love for Krishna. Hmm. So here we can see the greatness of Vaishnava. That's what it's the beauty. We call it as Vaishnava excellence. Hmm. And one should be very careful to when we are dealing with great devotees in our life. Uh, how to know someone is great devotee? We can see how tolerant a devotee is. Hmm. And Lord Shiva is saying Narayana Para Sarve. This is how to identify a devotee. Narayana Para means he is always prapadyante. He is always devoted to Narayan, which means he is a devotee of Narayan. Sarve, always. Hmm? Sarve, all. Na kutaschana bibhyati swargapavarga narakeshva api tulyartha darshina. He is saying devotees solely engaged in the devotional service of the Lord Narayan never fear of any condition. For them, the heavenly planets, liberation, hell are all the same. For such devotees are interested only in the service of Lord. Huh? Here the word Bhrityanam is saying the servant of the servant. Lord Shiva is calling. He is not just telling about Chitraketu Maharaj to Parvati Devi. He is telling any devotee, any devotee who is very, very serious, sincere, uh, by using the word Bhrityanam, Lord Shiva pointed out that although Chitraketu provided one example of tolerance, all the devotees who have taken shelter of Lord are as eternal servants are glorious. So all devotees, it's not like okay, we, we give all our due respect to Chitraketu Maharaj. No, we give all such respect to all great devotees. These benefit, so it goes further. So a devotee is not interested in going to heaven or hell. Just like sometimes we may feel, oh, it is so difficult here. Let's find a place where we can go, uh, have some uh, relax. mm, relief. Yeah, not relief. But devotee is saying wherever, it doesn't matter in which place he is, but if he is able to offer service to Narayana Para, that is what he wants. Dehinam deha samyogad dvandva nishwara leelaya sukham dukkham mrityur janma shapo anugraha evacha. He is saying this duality, because of the actions of the Supreme Lord's external energy, this Maya, Yoga, no, Mahamaya is Lord's energy. What does it do? The living entities are conditioned in contact with material body. Huh? So the happiness, distress, birth, death, curses, favors are natural byproducts of this contact in the material world. What it has to do with the devotee? He is not interested. He is just accepting it. In the purport, Prabhupada is saying that Durga Devi, the material energy of the Lord, but she acts under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sthiti, Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya, Sadhana, Shakti Reka, Chayeva, Yasya, Bhuvanani, Bhivarti Durga. Durga, the goddess Parvati, the wife of Lord Shiva, is extremely powerful. She can create, maintain, and annihilate any number of universes by her sweet will. But she acts under the direction of the Supreme Lord, not independently. So, this is what he said. Those who are not Narayana Para, means those who is not pure devotees, what will happen? They must be disturbed by this material modes of nature, duality. Hmm? Despite the disturbing dualities of the material world, devotees are not disturbed at all. Why? Because they fix their mind on the lotus feet of Lord and concentrate on the holy name of the Lord, and they do not feel the so-called pains and pleasures caused by the world. How to understand this? The example is, as one it says, Aviveka krita pumso hi artha bheda ivatmani guna dosha vikalpascha bhid eva stajyavat krita. As one mistakenly considers a flower garland to be a snake, or experience happiness and distress in a dream, so in the material world, by lack of careful consideration, we differentiate between happiness and distress, considering one is good and the other one is bad. So, but devotees have nothing to do with this. Why? Hmm? Prabodhananda Saraswati, he says, Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. We are thinking this material world is place of suffering. But how do a devotee thinks? A devotee is thinking this material world is a place of happiness. Why? Hmm? But why Prabodhananda Saraswati say this world is full of happiness? How is it possible? He answers. He is saying, Yat karunya kataksha vaibhava vatam tam gauram eva stumaha. He is saying, a devotee accepts the distress of this material world as happiness only due to the causeless mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By his personal behavior, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed that he was never distressed but always happy in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So one should follow in the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we may think, come on, how to overcome all these disturbing conditions? Uh, just like in dream, when we are so much disturbed, what do? We wake up, isn't it? We don't take it serious. We don't think, oh, it's all disturbing. In the similar way, what we should do, the mind is the via media in both dream and wakefulness. So it is the mind which is causing us the inconvenience or feeling of uh, mm, body, yeah, that I am this body. So that is what is making us to do sankalpa and vikalpa, action and inaction. So one should be careful how to tackle the urges of mind. Vacho vegam, manaso krodha vegam, jihva vegam. So these are the urges that come, and the mind is the cause of our misidentification. So we have to correct it. So it goes further. Then Lord Shiva is saying, Vasudeve Bhagavati, Vasudeve Bhagavati, Bhaktim Udvahatam Nunam, Gnana Vairagya Viryanam, Nahi Kaschid, uh, Vyaparshraya. Persons engaged in devotional service to Lord Vasudev, Krishna, have naturally perfect knowledge and detachment from this material world. Therefore, such devotees are not interested in so-called happiness or so-called distress of this world. Isn't it amazing? We see some devotees, yeah, we are in a for a small thing we go into a panic mode. Yeah, other day I think Ram Raghav Prabhu you were mentioning how did um, His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj dealt when the flight when the train got delayed. We see so many devotees how they do what they do is they accept it. They accept this inconveniences and they use it. It's not that okay. Oh, rather they use the time in remembering Krishna by chanting or reading. Yeah, reading Bhagavatam. Here is the what do you call distinction between a devotee and a philosopher who speculates. A philosopher is thinking what God can be, and with that thinking, he cannot know who is God. But rather, a devotee doesn't have to think because the Lord is giving the intelligence. Because Lord is saying in Bhagavad Gita, who is the one who is giving jnanam? Uh, it is the Lord who is giving, and also He is the one who is giving apohanam cha, smriti, jnanam apohanam cha. So it is the Lord who gives. Because of his unalloyed devotion to Lord Vasudev, this knowledge and detachment are automatically manifested in his person, in the devotee. In another reference in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also it's mentioned Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayad Ahaitukam. He's saying one who engages in unalloyed devotional service to Vasudev automatically becomes aware of this material world and therefore he is naturally detached. So this is the state one gets. This is what Lord Shiva is mm, amplifying. Yeah, the glories of Citraketu and great Vaishnavas, pure Vaishnavas. Now Lord Shiva is saying, Naham Virincho, na Kumara, Narado, na Brahma Putra, Munayo, Suresha, Vidam, Yasye Hitam, Amsa Kamsa Kaha, na Tat Swarupam, Pratag Isha, Maninaha. He is saying, neither I, Lord Shiva himself is saying to Parvati, neither I, nor Brahma, nor Ashwini Kumaras, nor Naradas, nor other great sages who are Brahma's sons, nor even the demigods can understand the pastimes and personality of of the Supreme Lord. So it's very difficult. Even we cannot we do not understand him. Hmm? Although we are part of the Supreme Lord, we consider ourselves independent, separate controllers, and thus we cannot understand his identity. And what to say about us? Don't we think that we are even great independent? We are so much independent from the Lord. So, can we really understand? It's not possible. In the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam. Lord is having so many forms, so how can we know when Lord is expanding so much spontaneously? Huh? It is said that when Radharani's beauty is increasing, Krishna seeing that beauty, he is becoming more beautiful. When Krishna is becoming more beautiful, seeing Krishna, Radharani's beauty is increasing, and this increase of beauty it's not limited. It's not like us. Yeah, we know that our beauty dwindles. It goes off. Yeah, we may check back our photos of 15 years, 16 years. We see how beautiful we were. Now you see there are some yeah truth, bitter truth in our face. But no, we can see that Lord expands. Adyam Puranam Purusham Navayavanam. He is ever youthful. Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlama Atma Bhakto. For devotees, he is understandable. Otherwise, not possible. So, Lord Shiva places himself as one of the non-devotees who cannot understand the identity of the Lord. If Lord is saying doesn't mean that, oh, now see, we know now the position of Lord Shiva. So, no, just like how we shouldn't um, uh, just like how we shouldn't have misunderstanding the glories of Parvati, we should also be careful to not misunderstand. We cannot understand the glories of great personalities like Lord Shiva. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambho means definitely he is great devotee. In the Purport, Prabhupada also mentions that the position of Lord Shiva, yeah, he is not human. Uh, it says the Lord um, himself as who cannot understand the identity of the Supreme Lord. The Lord being Ananta has unlimited number of forms. Therefore, how is it possible for an ordinary common man to understand him? Lord Shiva, of course, is above the ordinary human being, yet he is unable to understand the Supreme Lord. Lord Shiva is not among the ordinary living entities, nor he is in the category of Lord Vishnu. He is between Lord Vishnu and common living entity. And he goes further, he's saying, nahi asyasti priya kaschin na priya swa paro api va atmavat sarva bhutanam sarva bhuta priyo hari. He's saying he holds no one as very dear and no one as inimical. He has no enemies, he has no friends, he has no one for his own relative, and no one is alien, no one is foreigner for him, to him. He is actually the soul of all living entities. Uh, Lord is he is not so far away. He is present in everyone as Paramatma. As oneself is extremely dear, we are thinking, hey, I am so dear for myself. But we should understand the super self, the super soul of the self is still more dear. No one can be enemy of friendly super soul who is equal to everyone. Hmm? So this is understanding. Tasya chayam mahabhaga Citraketu priya anugaha sarvatra samadrik shanto hi aham chaivachuta priya tasman na vishmaha karya purusheshu mahatmashu mahapurusha bhakteshu shanteshu samadarshishu. He's saying this Chitraketu is amazing. He's magnanimous. Is a devotee, dear devotee of Lord. He is equal to all living entities and is free from all attachments and hatred. Just all the qualities of a Lord are manifested in the devotee. So this Chitraketu also has no such attachment or hatred. Similarly, I am very dear to Lord Narayan. Therefore, no one should be astonished to see the activities of most exalted devotees of Narayan, for they are free from attachment and envy. They are also peaceful and they are equal to everyone. Huh? So this is what Lord Shiva is saying. It is said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigneha Na Bhujyahaya. One should not be astonished to see the activities of great exalted Vaishnavas. As one should not be misled by the activities of the Lord, one should also not be misled by the activities of devotees. We shouldn't think that, see, hey, Lord, I know he can make miracles. How come a devotee can do all these miracles? And we shouldn't undermine that. We should appreciate the contribution they have done for our own life. Otherwise, what would be our future? What would be happening? Both the Lord and his devotees are liberated. If we chastise a devotee, nothing will happen to the devotee. We can see in the case of Chitraketu Maharaj. Rather, it is harmful for us. They are on the same platform, the only difference being that the Lord is the master and devotee are servant. Qualitatively, they are same. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyo sti na priya ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mai te tu eshu shapyaham. I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. But whoever renders service to me, mai te shuchapi aham. So Lord is saying, I am also friend to him. So here we see, in effect, Lord Shiva told Parvati, both Chitraketu and I. This is a very important point. We should also understand this to see. Lord Shiva is saying both Chitraketu and I are always very dear to the Supreme Lord. In other words, both he and I are on the same level as servants of the Lord. We are always friends and sometimes we enjoy joking words between us. Devotees, when they have good relation, yeah, we shouldn't say, hey, there is hierarchy, that's hierarchy. Yeah, it's their relationship. If they are intimate, uh, and if they are in a position to accept it, I think Ram Raghaprabhu I was mentioning sensitivity. I was giving example of from Ramayana. Who was that? Manthara. Yeah? That she was not able to accept
Yes, sir.
the insult. She took as insult. No, but if one is at same, if they understand, friends, if they become good friends, he says we are always friends, and sometimes we enjoy joking words between us. When Chitraketu loudly laughed at my behavior, he did so on a friendly terms, and therefore there was no reason to curse him. Hmm. Thus, Lord Shiva tried to convince his wife Parvati that her cursing of Chitraketu was not very sensible. Huh? Chitraketu could understand, Shiva could understand Chitraketu very nicely. Why? Because he is a devotee. But Parvati could not. Thus, even in the higher statuses of life, there is a difference between understanding of male and that of a female. The question will come on, isn't Durga the sister of Vishnu? Uh, Parvati is her Amsha, and we can see that. How come that she is not devotee? No, she is a devotee. The difference is very, very noticeable. What is the difference is that one is in the male body, other one is in a female body. Hmm. Thus, even in the higher statuses of life, there is a difference between understanding of a male and that of a female. It may be clearly said that the understanding of a woman is always inferior to the understanding of a man. In the Western countries, there is now agitation to the effect that man and woman should be considered equal. But from this verse, it appears that woman is always less intelligent than men. We can see that Lord Shiva could understand the intention behind what Chitraketu did, but Parvati didn't. It is clear that Chitraketu wanted to criticize the behavior of his friend, Lord Shiva, because Lord Shiva was sitting with his wife on his lap. Then, too, Lord Shiva wanted to criticize Chitraketu for externally posing as a great devotee, but being interested in enjoying with Vidyadhari women. Yeah, after all, Vidyadhar, Chitraketu was also with millions, with many wives, many Vidyadharis, enjoyed life for millions of years. Yeah. So for them, there was no problem. They were all friendly jokes, and there was nothing serious for which Chitraketu should have been cursed by Parvati. And upon hearing the instruction of Lord Shiva, Parvati must have been very much ashamed of cursing Chitraketu to become a demon. So Parvati could not appreciate Chitraketu's position, and therefore she cursed him. But when she understood the instruction from Lord Shiva, she was ashamed. This is what Sukadev Goswami is saying. Iti Shrutva Bhagavata Shivasya Shivasya Mabhi Bhashitam Babhuva Shantadi Rajan Devi Vigata Vishmaya. She was released from the astonishment. She was thinking, hey, how come that Chitraketu Maharaj was very, very much accepting that curse that he got? Who likes to be cursed as a demon? After all, we are trying all the ways to become a devotee, and if someone curses us, hey, become a demon, oh, uh, it's a hopeless condition for us. But Chitraketu Maharaj was already great exalted devotee. He thought, uh, that's okay. Only thing is, let me mm, not forget the Lord and worship Him. Srila Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, after hearing this speech by husband, the goddesses Uma gave up her astonishment at the behavior of Chitraketu and became steady in intelligence. And here, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks the word Shantadhi means Sviya Purva Swabhava Smrityam means when Parvati remembered her former behavior in cursing Chitraketu, she became very much ashamed and covered her face with skirt of her sari, admitting that she was wrong in cursing Chitraketu. इति भगवतो देव्या प्रतिष्ठप्तम् अलन् अलन्तमः मूर्ध्ना स जग्रे शापम् एतवत् साधु लक्षणम्. The great devotee Chitraketu was so powerful that he was quite competent to curse Mother Parvati in retaliation. Uh, just like the Lord is all powerful, the devotees also have power, isn't it? Hmm. But they don't misuse the power. But instead of doing so, he very humbly accepted the curse and bowed his head before Lord Shiva and his wife. This is very much to be appreciated as a standard behavior of a Vaishnava. So, in order to avoid all the conflicts we may come across, the best thing is to just accept that it's my mistake, hmm? Or whatever it is. If this is what Krishna's will, let me accept it. So, being protected by the Supreme Lord, a devotee is always powerful, but a devotee does not wish to show his power unnecessarily. However, when a less intelligent person has shown some power, he wants to use it for sense gratification. This is not the behavior of devotee. And so, after being cursed by Durga, mother, uh, um, the same Chitraketu accepts the birth in a demonic species of life. Although still fully equipped with transcendental knowledge and practical application of that knowledge in life, he appeared as a demon at the fire sacrifice performed by Tvesta, and thus he became famous as Utrasura. Uh, so, Etat te sarvam akyatam. He said, my dear Parikshit, you inquired from me how Vitrasura, a great devotee, took birth in a demonic family. Uh, Thus, I have tried to explain you everything about this. Uh, uh, Itihasam imam punyam. It says, what is the benefit of hearing this? Itihasam imam punyam chitraketur mahatmanah mahatmyam Vishnu bhaktanam shrutva bandhat vimuchyate. Chitraketu was a great devotee, Mahatma. If one hears his history, history of Chitraketu, from a pure devotee, the listener also is freed from the conditional life of material existence. And what is even more beneficial here we can see is that ya etat pratar, if one pratar utthaya, one who gets up in the morning, shraddhaya vag yata pate itihasam harim smritva sayati paramam gatim. They attain the best, the topmost result. What is that? Return home. Will return home back to Godhead without difficulty. Thank you very much. I could meet in time. But yeah, any thoughts for this part of the session before we kind of wrap up the whole session, the whole first time, what we can pick it up from this? Govinda Premataji, Hare Krishna. Nice to see you. Hare Krishna. Anyone have any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful session. Today is Kartik Purnami, so it's a very our pleasure to hear all these about Shiva and Parvati casting. So
Hmm.
I have a question, Prabhuji. Maybe I missed something, but yes, for yesterday, Maya filters everybody and purifies to reach towards God. But today, as it's already Parvati, Mother Parvati knows that she's correct, right? Because that's why she gave punishment to Chitraketu. But
Hmm.
after that, you said like she felt ashamed. But
Hmm.
wantedly only she did, right? But why she felt ashamed?
Are you asking question that she intentionally did, but now why she is ashamed?
Yes, Prabhu, yeah.
Yeah, because lessons when we learn, then we feel ashamed, right? So she felt ashamed mainly because she shouldn't have done that. If Lord Shiva and Chitraketu they are in a jovial mood and if they are just talking, uh, then to feel to think that as very serious and making it a very serious thing. So this is what um, is not right and. Lord Shiva, her husband, also was telling that, yeah, was not appropriate to curse, especially a great devotee. So, knowing that what she has done, committing a mistake, so she has felt ashamed of it. And I think in one of the purports, Prabhupada is mentioning this is the mm, this is the quality of a devotee, feeling ashamed. So I was also trying to find the question. I don't know, maybe some of you may have, but in fact she has cursed Chitraketu to go, and in fact Vitrasura was suffering. What about Parvati? Shouldn't she suffer for what she has done? Hmm? Uh, at least I didn't come across what happened to her. Yeah, maybe there are some Puranas and Upapuranas which can give more light, but I think that when she has genuinely felt ashamed, yeah, for what she has done, she shouldn't have done, and appreciated the glories of Chitraketu, accepted it, then that is already minimizes. So this is also when we are in our Vaishnava dealings, when we are not understanding others' greatness and when we commit offense to them. So it is said that one should go and ask forgiveness from the person. Yeah, but it is also said one is, if one is very in exalted position, one should genuinely from heart feel repentance and in mind can ask forgiveness. So yeah, maybe those things would have might have happened. We don't know.
Yeah, Prabhuji. So actually, she's a mother. She's merciful to all. But I thought like she did intentionally to purify Citraketu. Yes, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, that's also what we saw, right? Yesterday we saw that, yeah, as a mother, and also Chitraketu Maharaj also accepted as a mother. Yeah, the whatever came up, he, yeah. So that's all fine, but still the glories of Chitraketu are cannot be ignored. This is the cause why she felt ashamed. Just imagine,
Yes. Mhm.
yeah, your son is fully matured and he knows everything, but if you chastise because of small thing, what would you do? Yeah, will you feel ashamed knowing, okay, why do I do that?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And that too when you know that it was not his mistake.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm. Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thanks, Madhuri. Others, any other questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hmm.
Thank you Prabhuji for a wonderful pastime.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't hear quite loud. I can only hear very low.
I can speak louder.
Yeah, if you can, please.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, it was wonderful session to hear glories of great devotee. About Prabhuji, the position of Lord Shiva, he is you said as the he's in between the Jiva Tattva and Vishnu Tattva.
Hmm.
So how about his opulence? It is equivalent to Vishnu Tattva or Jiva Tattva? How so we are Anu and Lord is Vibhu, so Lord Shiva is also almost like a Vibhu, or
In Brahma Samhita, I only remember about this verse where Brahmaji is saying that, yeah, in one way they are not different and other way they are still different. So they are almost that, yeah. So when you're asking about the vibhuti of them, yeah, um, I cannot say in a percentage, but there is some explanation like what is the Brahma, like he has 70%, there is some percentage that is given of who is how much opulent.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu, yeah.
Hmm.
But he is far beyond than the Jiva Tattva.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. He's almost there. Yeah. He's above Brahmaji. He's of course above all the jivas. He's above Brahmaji. He's above Durga. He's above yeah. So he's above Durga, and then he's there, and it's almost like he's. There is also, I mean, I can find this table. I have seen somewhere there they give what is that hierarchy or in terms of opulences, who is how much opulent.
Mhm.
Just it's, I forgot. Hmm.
So yeah, I also heard like some the Brahmaji, all the Jiva Tattva, Brahmaji start from 45 or 50%, and then yeah, Vishnu Tattva to 60% or so, and then 64 is Lord Krishna with the
Yeah,
four
could be.
four
Yeah.
Madhurya.
Yeah. So I was referring to that. So in that way, we can see there is, in one way, there is a difference. But for us, infinite minus 1 or infinite minus 10, for us, both are same. Both are infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm? At the same time, both are different, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Infinite is still infinite. Infinite minus 1 is just 1 minus of infinite. So there's still a difference. Otherwise, why do we have this infinite minus 1 or minus 10?
Mm-hmm.
But for us, yeah, they're already infinite, so high.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Puni.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. If no questions, then appreciate if we can quickly recap. First of all, I would like to, someone want to say something or talk?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Just
Mhm.
one question or clarification. So,
Mhm.
the life of Vaktrasura was not like part of the this chapter, or does it come later, or
It already finished.
like?
That's
Oh,
already
sorry.
finished.
Then it was at the beginning. Like I joined like
We
15
did.
minutes later.
No, no, no,
Hmm.
no. The life of Ritrasura itself has 4 chapters or so that happened even before we spoke about Chitraketu. That is the reason Parikshit Maharaj has asked, um, why, how come that Ritrasura, who is a demon, could go Vaikuntha? And that's why all this Chitraketu pastime came.
Ah, okay. Yeah, understood. So that was at the beginning. You had
So
explained. Okay.
that is in the beginning. Let me check which chapters are there.
That was on the day one. Hmm.
Yeah. So I'm just looking. So this is in the sixth canto, chapter, yeah, 9 to 13 is Vritrasura. So and we picked up from 14 to 17.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Maybe Prabhuji, you already mentioned the beginning. Maybe I forgot. So when he was born as as a demon, Vritasura, so how did he receive this transcendental knowledge? How?
There is one purport. Maybe I was very brief. Yeah. It is that no, but because he was Chitraketu, he already had everything, and when he became a demon, still he. I'm just reading. I think 39th verse, 39th one. Yeah, 39th verse, 38 is saying, yeah. Um, Inspired, although still fully equipped with transcendental knowledge and practical application of the knowledge in life, he appeared as a demon. Yeah. So which means all the knowledge that he had, it went with him. And Prabhupada gives the reference from Bhagavatam. Therefore, it is said that even if a devotee falls down for some reason, यत्र क्व वा भद्रम वा नो वा भद्रम अभूत अमुष्य किम को वार्ता आप्तो अभजताम स्व धर्मतः. Once one is advanced in devotional service, his spiritual assets are never lost under any circumstances. Whatever spiritual advancement he has achieved continues. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Even if a bhakti yogi falls, he takes birth in rich family or family of brahmanas, in which he again starts devotional activities from the point where he left off. Yeah.
So he remembered
Yeah,
everything
he
from his.
remembered everything. That is the reason. I mean, were you in this Bhagavad Gita session where we were discussing about this Nati Manita quality in the 16th chapter? At that time, we discussed about Vritrasura and Indra. Huh? Vritrasura,
Yes,
though he was
Prabhuji,
Asura.
fighting.
Yeah. So in that context, we discuss how glorious he is. So which means he
Yes,
remembered
Prabhuji. Yeah.
everything, and that's how that gave me inclination to pick up this as part of the theme. Yeah, when Sushila Mataji, I mean, you are there, right? Of course, they have very cordially accepted this, that if I'm speaking Citraketu, they said okay. But yeah, so I was thinking that it can be a continuation from that Bhagavad Gita session. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Mhm. Okay. If no questions, then we quickly wrap up. Just key takeaways from the whole 7-day session. The first thing is that we see that Parikshit Maharaj was astonished to see how come Vritrasura, who's a devotee, has went to Vaikuntha planet, which is not so easy. Yeah, if one is conditioned, how come he could go? And for that, there is whole description about what is the rarity of. I mean, you may already remember. To save some time, I'm just kind of saying there. Parikshit Maharaj was saying how rare it is to become a pure devotee of the Lord. There are so many millions of living entities. Among them, there are only few humans. Among those few humans, there are only few who are dharmic, who follow religious principles. Among those few religious principles who follow, there are only very, very few who are interested in liberation. Huh? Who are interested? Yeah, and of that few who are interested in liberation, there are only very, very few who really achieve liberation. Among those who have achieved such liberation, there is only very, very few or one. Among such achieved liberants, one understands what is a liberation. And among such people, still there is only one, very rare, one is a devotee. So such a devotee can have the darshan of the Lord. Such a devotee can go to the Vaikuntha. How come that Vritrasura attained such a great exalted position or mm, grace or mercy? And from there, Sukadeva Goswami brings up this narration of the life of Chitraketu Maharaj. Chitraketu Maharaj, he is a king who has uh, millions of wives, and in spite of having so many wives, he had no child. And when he didn't had a child, that was very, very worrying, because he was concerned what happens that if there is no son, who will offer Shrad, who will offer Pindadan, who will offer the oblations to the forefathers. And then when he was so much perplexed and worried, then Angira Rishi comes, and after understanding what is the cause of his suffering, he blessed him with a son. But he also told how that your son will be cause of your jubilation and lamentation. So then Chitraketu Maharaj has given the sweet rice to Kritadyuti, his best among the queens that he had. So many queens, yeah, he chose Kritadyuti, and then once the son is blessed, everyone, the whole kingdom was happy. The people were happy, the father happy, the mother happy, and when this so much happiness is around, we forget ourselves. That is okay, but we shouldn't forget uh, people who are around us. We should be very sensitive to understand, are they also part of our enjoyment? Are they also part of our pleasure? Otherwise, we should be very sensitive. It's like um, yeah, anyway, we want to go summary of the whole session, right? So then the co-wives were, because of envy, they felt so much burning. They are thinking, first of all, we don't have child. That is already a painful for mothers. So for a woman, the best thing is to have a child when they didn't have already. That was very disturbing. But when their husband was not um, was when the husband was ignoring, they felt very bad, and because that, the mind got poisoned, and the intelligence uh, was dull. And when that happened, what happened? They have given poison to the son, and because of poisoning the son died, and that caused again lamentation. Yeah, so this is also the truth. We may be happy a while, we may be sad a while. This is what Prahlad Maharaj says. Sukha Dukkha, these are like waves. They come and go. And this Harsha Shok, the son, whose name is Harsha Shok, he came and he left. That caused immense pain, lamentation to both uh, the parents and to the people of his kingdom. And when this was there, two Brahmanas came and they asked what's the matter, and they see. And of course, there is also something that Krita Dyuti mm, is is commenting, not comment. Kritadyuti was blaming the Lord for the cause of their suffering. How come that a father, while he is alive, a son is dead? How cruel is the Lord to take away? He is inexperienced. He is inexperienced, and he is also not merciful. Yeah, so all there is so much. And when all this was happening, the Brahmanas came, and then the Brahmanas uh, came and they were asking. Then the Brahmana said, "Okay, if this is the cause of your lamentation, yeah, I can bring back the son back. Mm. But you have to understand that the material world is a world of duality. So after the Brahmanas instructed, then the boy came back, was brought back also. Narad Muni has brought back the son, and son said, "Hi, who are you? In which life are you my parents? I, I don't accept you as my parents." Uh, and then he told, the boy also told the philosophical understanding, what is spirit? Spiritual being means soul, and he doesn't has these all those things, the signs of spirituality, and that opened the mind of Citraketu, his wife, and not only that, but also the co-wives. The co-wives felt ashamed. Huh? Why did we do this? So finally, after this, they went to Yamuna. On the bank of Yamuna, they performed purification for their sins because they have done what? Balahatya. When one does Balahatya, Prabhupada says that, yeah, if one would um, uh, take to the process of abortion or any kind of these things, Balahatya, one should atone, one should do. How? The best thing is take very seriously the chanting of the holy name and say, first of all, repent, chant, and not repeat. These are three things that Prabhupada mentions. So after that, then Chitraketu Maharaj is surprised and he thinks, how who can be these two Brahmanas? Uh, who they definitely would have been one among. Yeah, he gives a whole list among which Narada is there, Angira is there, and after disclosing their identity, Narad Muni instructed Chitraketu Maharaj with um, the signs of God. He gave a mantra. Om Namastubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Pradyumnaya Anuruddhaya Cha. So this is the mantra, and of course, asked him to repeat this mantra for 7 days, and then he can see the Lord face to face. He did it, and Anantadev was pleased, and he comes, he gives the darshan. When Chitraketu gets the darshan of Anantadev, he glorifies the Lord, um, and that are the Uttama shlokas, which we also should at least understand the mood and the signs of prayers from that. And after that, the Lord also blesses him that um, may he attain spiritual benediction, and he says this is what he instructs and says this is the ultimate truth. Uh, After that, I think I don't know if something is important, please add later, but I'm just very briefly going through. After that, when Chitraketu is flying in the airplane, then he comes to this Mount Meru, and this is what, after seeing Lord Shiva and Parvati amidst of the sages, he expressed the wonder. And when he was expressing such a wonder, he was not sure whether um, it is appropriate or not. Yeah? And that caused Parvati upset, and she got disturbed and cursed him to become an asura. Yeah. But yeah, so the remaining thing we covered anyway today. So we can definitely pick a lot. That's why it said the Falastuti is mentioning that if one takes this principle, how to lead a devotee life very carefully, avoiding the um, by carefully practicing tolerance, yeah, by carefully practicing the tolerance and just accept whatever is coming as mercy of the Lord. This is what we can see that makes us suitable recipient of the Lord. Tattenukampam susamikshamanam bhunjaya evatmakrutam vipakam hridvag vapur vir vidam namaste. What is that? Um, Dayabach. One becomes the mm, what do you call this word, English word? One becomes rightful hire, rightful hire of the property of the Lord. If one is tolerating, uh, uh, while tolerating what is coming from the Lord or suffering what is happening, if one is still worshipping the Lord, then he becomes the rightful hire of the Lord's mercy. Yeah. Hmm. So yeah, so this is I don't know why did I, yeah. So this is what we can see from Chitraketu Maharaj that he had perfected, and that's why he went back to Godhead Vaikuntha. Thank you very much for so much encouraging me that you have joined, you have heard for 7 days, and enriched my understanding by your questions and also comments. And my sincere gratitude to Shishila Mataji, who has triggered this, that we could have this katha. We started at her place, which was also very nice. Uh, Everyone have felt warmly welcomed, and that we could also offer some prayers for Vishwambar Prabhu and family. And yeah, thank you so much. Looking forward for next Bhagavad Sapta. Hare Krishna. Anyone want to share anything or add anything? Yeah, feel free.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. It was very nice story, so to say, a lot of takeaways for practical implementation. A lot of learning, so to say. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. If
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for explaining Citraketu pastimes. Prabhuji, I have a question. When we have in a family all Vaishnavas, and sometimes when we see somebody is not doing something right, and when someone is elder than Bina, and then how can we tell them that what they are doing is not the right way? Because there's also sometimes we are also scared that we can do some offense.
Yeah, so that's
How
why
can
the
we
best
deal?
thing is to have always friendly relationship. Just like here in the case of Chitraketu, Lord Shiva is saying, hey, he's my friend, he can be free. So I usually see that the art of communication needs a good relation. Yeah, when we have good relationship with even elders, right? Even if elders, they may be inclined to understand us because they see, okay, we are not envious, we are not selfish, we are not less intelligent. They may know only when we have good relationship with them. And if one doesn't has that, or if one is not in a position to accept what we say, better is not to tell, because by telling we go far, and not only that, it becomes, like instead of medicine, it becomes poison.
Okay, Prabhuji. So that means if we don't have good relationship with someone who is elder than us, and if we think, okay, maybe they can take it wrong, then we should
Yeah.
ignore this.
Yeah. Should See, by ignoring if the person is at risk or at harm, the other person, we have to see with whom at least both of us have good relations. So, for example, then you may have someone where you can openly discuss, yeah, because that person definitely is going to, if there are like two advanced devotees, yeah, with one devotee you can share, you can talk so that this person can tell to the other person, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so we need to find in the hierarchy who can help us, who can understand us. If we don't have that, pray Krishna so that he is inside you and inside the other person. So that can work. And
Okay.
once upon a time when we were in, I don't know, you remember Prahlad Bhakta Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Once Prahlad Bhakta Prabhu said, yeah, this of course he was telling in the context of wife and husband. He said if wife and husband have conflict or if they don't uh, appreciate each other, or I don't know, if there is some distance, he said the best thing is that they both can come together in Mangalarti and do Mangalarti together. That can bridge, that can narrow, I mean, kind of melt the distance. So usually
Yes.
Mangalarti is also a means of kind of service. When we do service together, that also can make um, this relationship. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I
But
can understand
sometimes,
all these things.
sometimes, Prabhuji, it's like this when we see someone is doing something wrong,
Mhm.
and then we think maybe he or she will leave their body in same condition, then it's not good. We want to tell, but somehow something stop us to say this, because
Mhm.
otherwise they will say, okay, now you have
Yeah.
read 2 more books or Granth, and that's why you
Yeah.
are telling like this.
Yeah. The thing is that learning, if doesn't happen at young age, it becomes quite difficult later ages. So we should understand that limitation is there. Yeah, that's why Prabhupada, if, when he saw that there were old people who were playing some ball, yeah, game, Prabhupada said, we can't help them out because, yeah, new tricks cannot be taught to a old dog. I don't know. Is that right? Something, maybe there is a saying. I mean,
Okay.
so this means it becomes difficult to train someone because another way of seeing is also that we may not know what is their condition to think like that. That's what we also call conditioning. Yeah, once Prabhupada asked, do you know how difficult it is to do? And when disciples said yes, Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said no, you don't know. Why? Because only the person who is going through the challenge, he knows exactly what is that. So there are multiple ways to see, to really know, to calm ourselves down. This is first thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if we say something and it hurts them, then it's also aprat in a family.
Usually, it is said in Kali Yuga, if one hurts at a mind level, it is not an offense. If one really comes out and offend, then that is considered an offense.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, do we have time for one more question?
Yeah, maybe last question.
Yeah, I mean the question from Ratikali is, I mean how should we handle when one devotee is insulting another devotee in front of us, or not insulting, or maybe some offending the senior? How should we react? I mean, should we tolerate?
No,
or
not devotee. It is,
Maybe she can ask, na, if she is there, why don't she try directly?
yeah, it is not offending the devotee. One is not tolerant to devotee's offenses. I mean, like a non-devotee is offending a devotee, and the other devotee is not able to tolerate it. How should we still preach?
So your question is
Yeah.
how, when a non-devotee is offending a devotee, what should a devotee do? Is that right?
Yeah, like maybe even
So simple
Prabhupada.
question, no?
Yeah.
The question is very simple.
Yeah.
The answer is also very simple. Yeah, try to avoid such situations that there. If you can do something, you should definitely do it, because it is not favorable for the non-devotee, and it's also not favorable for your own self. Yeah. So it is not good for both. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the best thing is to find ways. Yeah. For example, if you remember from Krishna book, when who is that? Kamsa wanted to kill um, who is that? Yashoda, right? No. Devaki, sorry, Devaki. Yeah. Vasudeva tried some ways, and then finally understood, Kamsa is he's a non-devotee, and he wanted to also protect a devotee, right? Vasudeva. You can see what strategies he tried. So we have to become matured, we have to be intelligent, so that first we try in a soft way. When it doesn't work, then we have to take it more, okay, strategic, what to do. So that comes. So we have to say, okay, if a person is offending, then you say, better not, because you can just tell a story, what can happen. Yeah, if you tell a non-devotee a very scary story, because a person who is so much afraid, so he may not repeat. Or if a person is repeating again and again, then you say, okay, I think, no, I'm very scared about you. Be careful, because if a person doesn't value a Vaishnava, then better don't invite. These kind of things.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. My laptop is also low in battery. Thank you once again, everyone. See you soon. Yeah. वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। जय गौर प्रेमानंदी। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.